Let me take a very generic user flow here. You start with application, a front end, where a front end is a web browser. Now this could be anything, Chrome, Opera, Safari, or anything, right? And the front end will look exactly like what you used to see in Web 2. The only difference being that you are not supposed to have a user ID and password based authentication here. You are supposed to be interacting with the blockchain with your wallet, right? We will again talk more on that, but then for the time you understand that your entry into the application happens through a wallet, and that application will be hosted on some blockchain. That could be Ethereum, that could be Polkadot, that could be Solana, that could be anything, right? And every blockchain has got its own set of fundamentals, and those fundamentals could mean that how exactly, what cryptographic primitives have you used for generating your private key and peer and public key, for example, right? And there are so many other aspects that really need to be taken care of, right? So you get into the application, and these applications basically are now they run into a virtual machine instead of a server. They run into a virtual machine. Okay. Now to access that virtual machine, to access that application on a particular blockchain, you have to have something called JavaScript library. If you are working on JavaScript library framework, whether it is JS, whether it is Angular, whether it is anything. So there are different frameworks or libraries such as Web3.js, then you have got ethers.js. There are several of them. They give you an ability to connect your front end to the backend. There are different commands, right? I mean, you have to go and read into them. And finally, there are, RPC endpoints, remote procedure, calls. And through those calls, what you do basically, you go and hit a node, which is a part of that blockchain, and that node will act on your behalf for in interacting with the blockchain. Okay. Now, when we do that, then there are several other complications from which we'll not talk today. Maybe Avinash will talk some of them today, but then we will be talking about all of these things in much more detail in next 2 months time frame. But for the time being, you approach a node that you could run that node yourself, or you can go and take any services of any node providers. For example, it could be Alchemy, it could be Tatum, it could be anything for that matter. And you go and tell the node, those guys will run node for you, and your request will go to that node, and that node will interact with the blockchain on your behalf, right? And when this request goes to the blockchain, then it goes and hits a smart contract at a very high level right now. And a smart contract has got all the logic which is inbuilt into that. And based upon that, you get responses, and the communication comes back to you, to the user. That's what exactly we're talking about, when we look at a journey, of a user, or how do these dApps work. Okay.